I know what you're doing. Fucking grabbing up on my ass while you're telling me I have a good set. You think I don't feel that? Weirdo. I just let it slide, though, you know? Entertainer. I entertain in all ways.
You're listening to Hypothetically with Will Noonan.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Hypothetically with Will Noonan. That's me, coming at you right now from Boston, Massachusetts. I am right in fucking Boston, driving over the Boston Harbor right now, past the Ray Flynn Black Falcon fucking terminal, and I am on my way to Town Line Bowling Lanes in Malden. They don't know I'm coming. They don't even know I'm fucking coming. This isn't a scheduled appearance. This is me living my life, doing something on my own. Right now, I am going to get a bowling ball drilled for my fingers. Personal drilling job. It's what you got to do. When you buy your own bowling ball, it comes with no holes in it. I did not know that, but it's the way it goes. And then you got to find a guy who can drill holes in it for you, make it fit your hand. And I don't know how long it takes or what it costs or what it's like or anything. But I ordered this fucking bowling ball, made a little chunk of change on like this one show. And I was like, man, I'm going to use some of this money to get something silly that I've wanted for a long time. And I was like, what should I get? And then I was looking through my emails and I had some sweet deals on bowling balls coming through. And I was like, you know what, motherfucker? I'm going to fucking pull the trigger and get a bowling ball. So I did. I ordered one from bowling.com. I ordered a Brunswick bowling ball. Brunswick, one of the oldest, most storied franchises in the history of bowling. You know, they own bowling alleys. They make bowling pins. They make bowling shoes. They make bowling balls. They make everything. They're like Coca-Cola, you know? So I was like, okay, we'll go with the standards. I know there's more expensive, more flashier, but I went with the Brunswick Vintage Inferno, guys. If you want to Google what I'm rolling right now, but that's it in the bag. I'm driving right now to Malden to go get some holes drilled in this thing, and I'd be lying to you guys. I would be lying to you if I didn't tell you I had some nerves going into this. What am I nervous about, you ask? You're like, Will, what are you nervous about? You're a world famous comedian who fucking leaves stages in like a fucking, it's like ash when I get off stage. It's just these cinders floating through the air. People are coughing and laughing and applauding. And it's just like, why would you be intimidated by going to a bowling alley at 7 o'clock on a Tuesday to get some basic hand drilling done? It's because I don't know. I know these guys are going to ask me a bunch of questions I don't have the answers to. They're going to be like, how do you like to throw it? What kind of hook you got? How many revs you putting on this thing? And I'm going to have to be like, bros, all I know, listen, let me tell you what's up. You're looking at a really good bowler right now. You're looking at a phenom, okay? I'm putting up 170s, 180s with house balls. Everyone on earth's telling me, Will, go out there, get your own ball. You really want to start bowling. You're getting good scores. You can get that up to 200 average if you're fucking rolling a good ball. So I did it, man. I'm watching bowling. I'm watching a lot of bowling on YouTube. Tons of it. There's tons of it on there, all the way back to 1970s, 1950s even, some of them, but those are a little boring to watch. But man, it gets good in the 70s and 80s. They're all good. It's a fun sport to watch. My grandmother used to love watching bowling. But I digress. This is about me, the bowler, on my way. This is an important day, is what I'm saying. If I do become like a pro bowler, which is totally a thing that could possibly happen, this is a major step. This is like Shaq going to get fitted for his first custom pair of sneakers for his gigantic feet, you know? When Andre Agassi goes to pick up a new racket, the only thing is no one knows yet that Will Noonan is bringing bowling back. And boy, am I bringing bowling back. I mean, I've only been bowling for like 2 months, okay? Big Lebowski, they're making a remake. Chris Paul, he's got a new State Farm commercial out where he's talking about his love of bowling. Mookie Betts, Boston Red Sox, you know, my inspiration to bowl, getting an award for spreading the word of bowling, which is basically an award for getting me to start bowling. They're giving Mookie Betts an award because he got me bowling, and I'm doing so much for the sport. You know, I'm not going to be humble when it comes to this shit, guys. When it comes to comedy, I'll be humble. But when it comes to bowling, I don't know. It's a sport, man. I don't think I need to be humble. I don't think humbleness is going to serve me. But I might be a pro. I might be on my way to the Olympics and being a professional athlete, but I'm still a comedian, and I'm still an artist, and I still have those, you know, I still have the artist temperament. So that means I'm slightly nervous to go. I respect the game. I have so much respect for bowling that I'm thinking, man, I just hope I can live up to the God-given talent that I have. And I hope this whole interaction at the bowling alley goes smoothly. That's all I can say. I think it will. And this is the beginning of a whole new part of my life. If this goes good and isn't like mad expensive, I'm definitely getting a second bowling ball soon, because I want a couple options. I like options. Also, more bowling ball news. It feels very heavy to me. I got a 14-pound ball, which people say is like what you should get, bare minimum ball you should get if you're a man, or even a woman. A lot of women are rolling 14, 15s. 14, 15, they're rolling them. But I, at the bowling alley, always threw 12s. Occasionally a 13 or an 11, but always 12-pounders. But they say when it's fitted for your hand just right, it'll be much better. And 14 feels better. You should go up in weight. That's just what I've been told, okay? Hold on, I just got to look at my GPS here, because we're already getting fucking close. But anyway, it's a good time. It's a good time. This whole bowling game. 28? Is that where I'm supposed to go? I think I just missed my fucking exit. Can I do it? I got it. Nice. I actually made it. That was, haven't come close to death on the podcast in a while, but I think we almost did it right there. So, all right, I got more bowling. I know this episode's going to be heavy bowling talk, because I'm on my way to the bowling alley, and I got this bowling ball yesterday, and bowling's on my fucking mind today. So it's going to be like a bowling heavy fucking episode. So if you like it, buckle your fucking bowling glove and squeeze. But if you don't like it, go tune into my other show, The Noonan Show, which I also just put out an episode of, and we don't talk about bowling at all. It's me and Paul just talking about a variety of things, none of which are depressing. That's our rule. We try not to get too depressing. So anyway, had an experience at the bowling alley the other day that is something out of a movie. This is a true story now. Now I was kind of just joking around a little bit when it comes to the bowling, talking myself up and all that. But for right now, this is a true story. We're back to regular hypothetically. Okay, now this is a true story. Just happened. It's kind of a great day. Kind of spawned this whole. I mean, I had already ordered the bowling ball. I'm not gonna lie, but I was kind of wavering because my chick was kind of like, I couldn't tell. She was giving me kind of a hard time about the ball. I think it's because she just didn't like the specific ball that I got. She didn't like the color. But I can't tell how she feels. But anyway, that doesn't matter. The point is, I went bowling last week. I go to the bowling alley. It's the middle of the day. It's when I like to go. It was a Tuesday. It's probably a week ago today. I go in, and it's empty just the way I like it. There's a few people always. It's never totally yes, sometimes it is just me, but rarely. Usually there's a couple other people, some people with their kids or whatever. I go up, I get my, you just ask for a certain number of games, and they just give you a lane. And it's kind of on them what lane you go to, and that's usually like they space everybody out normally. But for some reason, the guy gives me my lane number, and I'm like, it was a really high number. Normally, I'm like somewhere from 20 to 30. And he gave me the lane number, and it was like 36. And I was like, I don't even know where that lane is. It must be all the way up against the far wall, right? So I'm walking to like my lane, 36, looking to get some practice in, trying to become a better bowler. And I'm like looking, and there's these group of guys who I recognize from being at the bowling alley. Shit, I fucked this up. Group of guys that I recognize from being at the bowling alley as much as I am, and they're kind of like the bowling alley regulars. But they're old-timers, but they're like the best bowlers who kind of hang out on a daily basis at the Boston Bowl that I go to. And they're not all old-timers either. Some of them are, but there's a couple guys, 30s, 40s, a lot of them 60s, 70s, but they're all fucking like really truly good bowlers and putting huge hooks on it, getting great scores. And this motherfucker at the front desk put me right next to these fucking guys, like right fucking next to them. It was so weird. There was like 100, I'm talking, no, it's probably 30, 40 open lanes, and this guy puts me one lane away from this big group of guys. I almost think it was like, he was like, hey, man, you've been coming here a lot, and you're clearly a bowling weirdo and fanatic, and I'm going to make you some friends today. I almost think that's what the fucking 19-year-old kid behind the counter was thinking. That's really what I think. So I'm like, ugh. I immediately get fucking kind of like, shit, man. I had a fucking bowl in front of these guys, and I'm just there by myself, and they're like, look at this. They're kind of like giving me a little bit of a curious eye, because it's like, man, is this guy going to be a dick? Is he going to distract us? Who is this guy? Why is he bowling alone? Is he serious about this? I have my own shoes, but I don't have my own ball. That's kind of a mixed message. They're like, he's half in, half out, And I shit you not. They were all there. I felt their eyes on me. We're talking right next to me, And I'm not kidding you, no joke. I go up, my first two throws are fucking gutter balls. I hit the gutter. I've been bowling like crazy, getting strikes and spares, getting really good scores, and I go up there and I'm so like nervous with the eyes on me. It's just like golf. If you ever golfed, it's so easy to go hit a bunch at the range, but when it's all quiet and everyone's got their eye on you and it's your turn to hit the ball, it takes just time to get used to it, And that's how so I'm like, fuck. And then one of the old guys was like, it's okay, Will. They already started talking to me. My name's up on my score thing. They're like, one of the old guys like, it's all right, Will. He's like, just warm it up. Have fun, man. Just warm it up. And I'm like, fuck. And they must at this point know that I'm kind of a little bit serious about it because, I'm like throwing it as good as I can. I'm like, and I'm wearing these bowling shoes and shit. So then I like start getting it together a little bit, but it's like I have like just a little practice game, and then I actually introduced myself to the guy who said, "Let's go, Will," because I got a couple strikes after that, and he was like, see, you just needed to warm up." And I'm like, "What's your name?" He's like, "My name's Joe. Call me Joker." I'm like, "Oh wow, nice to meet you, man." And then so then the next game, I start my next game. And I get 3 strikes in a row right off the top. Strike, strike, strike. A turkey, as we call it in the sporting biz. He's like, dude's like, hey, well, see, another dude from their group's like, see what happened? When you shook his hand, all you need to do was shake his hand, that's all. Now you shook his hand, you're fucking gravy, And I was like, this is fucking hilarious, So then, now that I knew these guys, and now that I was calm and they were like friendly and as shit and stuff, then I started bowling fantastic. I had one of the best games I've had in a while. I played about 3 games. I got like like a 150, a 177, like a 176 or 178. I can't remember. It was all around there though, and it was going really well. And and then now they're like, now so I've talked about this I think briefly on the podcast before. There's like a little bit of etiquette with bowling, and you don't want to there's an approach just like in putting, and you don't want to fuck with someone when they're in that approach, and you don't want to there's just little rules, like when someone's bowling, you don't bowl at the exact same time or jump in front of them if they take longer than you, that kind of thing. You can feel it sometimes at the bowling alley. You're like, oh, I can see this person out of the corner of my eye, and it's a little bit like, even when you're just bowling for fun, you're like, I feel this person out of the corner of my eye. It's a little bit distracting, so that kind of shit. I think that's probably what their biggest fear was. I'm guessing, projecting. But I was like mad considerate. And I just wanted to be as considerate as possible to these guys. So I was like, definitely not going to fuck with any of their process. And I actually think that's probably why I ended up having the great scores that I did have, because I was just pacing myself a lot more and taking a lot more time between shots and just having a better game. Maybe a more well-rested game, I don't know, or a calmer pace. But so I guess they liked that, because as I was putting the balls away that I used, one of the old guys was like, "Wow, he even put the balls away. What a like as if to say, what a nice guy. He even put the balls away." Most of them were black. There was like one white guy, but most of them were black. And so anyway, I'm like, oh yeah, I always try and just leave it as I found it, And this guy was like, his name was George, which is my dad's name, and he was like, "Hey, come here, Will. Let me tell you something." I'm telling you, this is the part that was like out of a movie. It's this old black dude with a gray mustache and gray hair, and his like Vietnam vet baseball cap on. And he's like, "Will, come over here. Sit down. Let me talk to you for a second. All right, come on." And I'm like, "Oh, absolutely, So I like, at first I kind of lean in, and he starts telling me about bowling. He's like, "A bowling lane is made out of 1-inch boards on the ground. And each pin, you got to use those as a guide for yourself. You go left, you go right. Your ball will go the same." And he's kind of like explaining this shit to me. And I'm like, man, I'm like really, first of all, digging the information and wanting it. But I'm also like, man, what a nice fucking guy this guy is to be helping me out here. And this is like the kind of thing I like about bowling. It's just like comedy, you know what I mean? And in that sense, or anything on earth. Now I'm connecting with people through bowling, it's good shit. So as he's talking, I get into a crouch position so I can hear him, and he's drawing like diagrams on the table in front of us and stuff. So I sat there and crouched at this guy's knee for like 10 minutes while this old black dude was teaching me about bowling, giving me some tips on how to make my game better, and it was all very valuable, and it was great stuff. And I was like, I hope to see you again. He's like, I think you will. And it was great, and it was truly like a great fucking experience of just good times, meeting good people. And then when I walked away, all the guys were friendly to me, and it was like, man, this whole bowling community, any community, I love get into weird shit. I remember Jerry Seinfeld saying that in one of his, I think it was the comedian documentary. He's into Porsches, which is, a rich man's kind of collecting hobby, but I think hobbies are very important. I think having a little hobby or a little interest, if you're the type of person who needs to be kind of excited about something a lot, that's how I am. I get excited about comedy and obviously and life and stuff like that, like anybody, but I kind of need little projects and little things and new sort of endeavors. I've learned it just keeps me fresh, keeps me kind of interested. Definitely as a comedian, helps me like write more. I'm already writing all this stuff that's sort of from bowling, but not necessarily all about bowling, Oh, also, I was telling that story to a bunch of my friends when we were watching Royal Rumble, and I was telling the story about the bowling alley and how that whole thing happened. And I was like, I still think it's weird though that guy put me next to those guys, and my buddy Pat was like, it would be great if you were walking out and you were like, hey, thanks for putting me next to those guys. They were great. And he was like, what are you talking about? There's no guys over there. And I'm like, no, the guys bowling on lane 35. And then I turn around and everyone's gone. They were never there at all. It was me the whole time. That would have been cool, but I'd also be insane if that were true, so that would not be so cool. Ooh, we're getting close. Only about 6 minutes away from the bowling alley. With my delay, I got lost on the way doing this podcast. I took kind of a fucking loopy-doopy path to the bowling alley, but man, it kind of feels like going to the doctor, if I had to describe it in a certain way, because it feels like going to the doctor in the way of like, I know this guy's probably gonna be touching my hand and like looking at my fingers, and I don't know if you guys know anything about me, but I'm just kind of weird about shit like that. I like being touched, and I'm not like one of those people who's like, don't touch me, but I'm not like that. But I am like choosy about who touches me. Speaking of, I think about this all the time, the Me Too movement, and women always, and believe me, I'm sure, I know a lot of bad shit happens, but I got my ass fucking fondled this weekend by a drunk woman in her 50s who totally thought she was being like, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of discreet or getting away with it. I'm like, I know what you're doing. Fucking grabbing up on my ass while you're telling me I have a good set. You think I don't feel that? Weirdo. I just let it slide though, Entertainer. I entertain in all ways. But it happens to us too. Alright, I'm in Malden. I don't know where I am, so I'm gonna put the recorder down. I might whip out my phone and record a little bit in the actual bowling alley, who knows, but yeah, boy, just a couple minutes away from the big bowling drilling job. Might even put some rubber finger inserts in there. Maybe when I fucking go bowling, I'll about pop. I'm a weird ass fucking dude, but yo, is it having me get right back on Route 1? Alright. Anyway, I gotta go. Talk to you guys soon. I'll be back shortly. Peace out. Oh my god. Okay, I'm back, everybody. I'm back in the car, pulling out of the bowling alley now. It's been a while. I don't know. I was there for at least an hour, I think longer. And it's done. The bowling ball is drilled. Everything, first of all, it was awesome. This guy Louie at the pro shop, Town Line Lanes, took care of me, did an awesome job. Great guy. I think he's even younger than me. I was expecting some old guy who was a jerk, and I get a guy in his 30s who was a great guy. And walked me through the process, measured my hand, gave me some great advice, was not a dick at all, was totally a great dude and patient with my ignorant yet charming comedic views on bowling, and we had a good time. So that is done, man. I now have this ball. I did not get a chance to try it out, because it took such a long time. Because it takes a long time. They got to measure your fucking hand, and he's got a drill. It's like watching a shoe. What do you call those guys that make shoes? A cobbler. It's kind of like that. He's got all these tiny little tools and just shitloads of them, and they all do something different, But it was fucking cool. I enjoyed my time hanging out there at the pro shop. I actually did. Looking at bowling balls and rosin bags and all kinds of shit. It was fun. Got this brand new ball. I got fucking rubber grips in it. It's a whole motherfucking thing, man. I'm psyched to try this baby out. So I don't know. I'm driving right now to Somerville, Charlestown line to go do Chris Post's, formerly Dan Crone's show at the Winter Hill Brewery. That's such a hard word for me to say. Brewery. I just ran a red light. Am I fucking having a stroke? What is wrong with me? I didn't get a great nap in today. I didn't get any nap in today. I had nightmares all night. I don't know why. I'm not normally a nightmare-having person. But anyway. Do you want to know what my nightmares were about? I can't remember what last night's nightmares were about, but I had a dream the other night that I was having sex with a woman that I'd never met before, which was weird. And then, as like, you know how dreams are, like, she started to look more and more like a dude dressed as a woman. And I'm like, what's going on? Are you trans? Are you transgender? I know why, because it was Peter Martin was at my house talking all kinds of jokes about transgenders and their vaginas. So then I had this dream. And I'm like, I don't know. I was like, what? He's like, oh, I'm transgender, and you just like ripped open my vagina. And I'm like, what? And then he's like, you had to pay for my broken vagina. I was like, I don't want to pay for that. And I was like really worried that I was gonna have to pay for this broken transgender's vagina, but also in my dream I was afraid that I was gonna get bad press for being a deadbeat who wouldn't pay for transgender vaginas that I'm destroying. Like, I'm the kind of guy who's just like, you fucking take care of that on your own. Sounds weird. A couple dreams. Fuck. I think I need a cup of coffee before I do this stand-up show. Real talk. There's Starbucks in Malden. Super nice bowling alley, though. Town Line Bowling Alley. I gotta get there some weekday and roll a few. I don't see myself really doing that because, probably just going to go to Boston Bowl, which is my local bowling alley. But the guy was telling me how many bowling alleys there used to be and how many there are now. And that's a shame. But I do think, as I was saying earlier in the first half of the podcast, that bowling is making a massive, massive fucking comeback to the popular, popular culture. People be bowling. People be bowling. I be knowing and people be bowling. Oh, do you just hear how giddy I am to have this task done? I'm now an owner of my own personal bowling ball. Couldn't have felt better about it, by the way, at Malden Lanes. There was like 1,000 guys there. It was league night. And there was 1,000 dudes there. And there were some fucking really normal, handsome-looking, well-to-do dudes in bowling leagues, all right? It's not just for weirdos anymore. I know you all want to paint me out to be a psycho nut job who just bowls alone and smokes pot and plays Fortnite and maintains human relationships. You want to paint me with that brush? Fine. But I'm enjoying myself here, you know? Anyway, right now I'm just driving through fucking the North Shore. Man, when you grow up in Boston, in the Boston area, and you grow up on the South Shore, the North Shore just feels like a fucking unbelievably far distance away. You don't know how to... It just feels like I'm in a foreign fucking country right now. And I'm not. I'm like 6 miles away from where I live. Two different worlds. And it's funny. It's not like... I used to think when I was younger that the North Shore was just shitty and the South Shore was nicer. But the South Shore is pretty shitty in a lot of spots, too. And the North Shore is pretty nice in a lot of spots. It kind of goes back and forth. But it's just... white trash that you know is less scary than white trash that you don't know. And now, the term white trash doesn't really just apply to white people anymore. I think, like, what white people, or what people think of as white trash It's just kind of genuine trash. Like, general, just trash peeps. We all know who trash people are. I'm not saying there's a race that's always trash, or there's a sexuality that's always trash, or there's a type of gender that's always trash. I'm just saying, like, we all know. When someone comes in and they're fucking drunk, it's the middle of the day, and they don't know a lot of words. Do you want to use the word trash in your own mind? Probably not. You're like, but I do think people have a lot of prejudices that they make on a day-to-day basis that are just for self-preservation, that aren't for, like, just to be a jerk. It's just because you want to be, it's just to protect yourself. And I don't mean, if you're judging people based on race, you're fucked up. But that's what I always say. I'm like, race is like 40th on my checklist of things I'm judging people for. I judge, number one, I probably go to clothing. Not what, like, brand, but how clean is it? That's your first mental math that you're doing. How clean is this person in general? Personal hygiene, clothing. That's number one. Second, teeth, which also kind of falls into the hygiene thing. So second, let's say, is like the way they speak. And I'm not saying there's plenty. Mayors have thick accents. Politicians have thick accents. It's not that you can't have a regional accent. It's how you use it. It's how you talk, Why when an actor has to play a homeless person in a movie, do they always use that voice, right? It's because that's how scary, trashy people talk. You never go into your doctor's office and he's never like, how are you? Sit down. So there are things. People kind of like to act like now that, you can't do that, man. Come on. A doctor can act like a homeless guy if he wants to. Everyone can do whatever they want to. But we all, like, make little mental math choices. The question is, like, when do we do that and when do we not do that? And when is it okay to do that? And when is it not okay to do that? But it's fucking just a fact. If someone walks into your office naked holding a gun, you would assume that they are insane and dangerous. That's an extreme example, but a lot of times it's not naked with a gun. It's just, that person gives me a bad vibe. But where does the bad vibe really come from? I don't know why I'm like, trying to solve this while I drive through fucking Everett and all these. I'm looking at that Encore Casino. I gotta say, I don't know if. I think I've mentioned this, but man, that thing just feels like a gigantic brown bad omen. It's just like up there, and it looks to me like something that's just bad news. I don't know why I get that feeling every time. I'm actually looking forward to some things. I'm sure they're going to have a comedy club. I'm sure it'll be fun to go there and gamble every once in a while, like on a whim. But there's something about when I see this big Vegas-looking casino in the middle of Boston. And people always give me shit like, why do you care? You're not the kind of guy. You like new things. You like things that aren't typically Boston. That's true, but I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm also a guy who thinks with his gut a lot of the time. And my gut is giving me a super bad feeling about this new casino in Boston. I just think it's going to be bad. I don't know why. I don't even know what kind of bad. Gambling problems? I think that's the kind I'm really thinking. I think people are just gonna. There's gonna be a little bit of a gambling boom when that place first opens. People who maybe never would have gotten hardcore into gambling because they live in Boston will. But I mean, that's people. Let's just keep giving them more things. On the other hand, if I'm gonna speak off the top of my head as I normally do, I mean, has there ever been a bigger time for people to just want to fuck around and have some fun than right now? People, what the hell? Everyone's such a miserable prick. They're not getting their bowling balls drilled, I'll tell you that. They're not having fun like I am. But yeah, so maybe like gambling would be good right now. The economy's kind of booming, and the economy's booming. People got money to burn. That's a good time to open up a casino, I guess. But it's kind of in a rough part of the city, so I'm wondering if maybe some people who shouldn't be doing any gambling are going to get into gambling. I don't know. Who cares, I guess. Not my fucking problem. My bowling ball just tipped over, though. I'm so happy to have this thing drilled for my specific fingers and grip. Really looking excited. I'm hoping I don't break my thumb trying to throw this thing down the lane. I don't think I will, though. And, yeah. I don't know. I'm excited. That's me. I was patting it before. Now I'm patting it again. Well, I got like 5 minutes till I get to this show. So I'm going to grab a snack, a cup of coffee, and do the show. And then I'll check in with you guys after that. Peace. Test. 3, 2, 1. Hey, all right. So I'm back. Just did the show. Heading home. I gotta admit, part of me's like really wants to just go right to Boston Bowl. It's only 10 o'clock. Part of me still, I'm like I want to go try out this new bowling ball I just got, but I might wait until tomorrow, I think, because I want to upload this episode, maybe eat some food. I don't want to just rush all over the place. When I go play with this ball, I want to be able to really spend an hour kind of chilling at the lanes. So I feel like I might be rushing my ass if I go there right now. I got to get up. I actually booked another commercial. Haven't been doing a ton of commercials. Haven't been auditioning for many commercials. Haven't been auditioning for much of anything. Sort of intentionally. Kind of like past year or so, I kind of just been focused mostly on stand-up and only going out on auditions when it's something either really big or something like really cool that I want to do or something that's just so perfect for me. But other than that, most of the acting work I've done the past year has just been offered. But yeah, I'm doing another one that I did audition for and get, and it was a great time. And it's I can't say what it's for. I won't say what it's for. But I got the fitting for it tomorrow, the costume fitting. Which is funny because it's just a wig. I'm throwing on a wig, and other than that, just regular guy clothes. But that's how it is. Everyone's got to earn their money, and they're paying me to go try on some clothes. So I'll probably take an hour, and I'm gonna make some decent change just to go do that. But yeah, it's pouring rain right now. And part of me is going like, bro, why don't you just go down the lanes for 45 minutes? You'll be home midnight. You can upload this episode. Part of me is kind of thinking that. But I got some good weed waiting for me at home that my homie put into the mailbox for me. And my other homie got out of the mailbox and into a safe place. I got work to do, and I got to be wise about it. So I will. I think I'm making the decision right now to try out this bowling ball tomorrow in the interest of getting this episode up and live. I actually got an offer recently to charge money for this podcast. One of those subscription-based services is interested in the podcast, and I'm thinking it over. But I'm like, I'm like, really? I didn't even put out an episode for like a while. But I don't know. I to be honest with you guys, which I always am, my first instinct is to not do it. I mean, maybe the new show even I would think about it more because that's like this new thing, but hypothetically is like I think it's become something different than it's become a different thing like 3 times, It was kind of a how-to podcast about stand-up for a while, or day in the life, how to journal, It's been all those things, and then it's been kind of like an opinion show for a while, and it's just whatever. I think it's thankfully some of y'all like me, some of y'all are fans of me, and this is just where I dump it all, man. All the weird thoughts, all the weird feelings, all the weird audio, it all ends up right here. But yeah, man, it's time for me to finally go home, I think. But part of me still's like, you should go to the bowling alley and play 3 games. I can't decide. I think I'm gonna go. I know the end of this podcast is total trash. Just like I was talking about those people earlier, that's what this podcast is right now. It's just a babbling pile of shit. But yeah, I think I'm gonna hit the lanes for real tomorrow. I have the option 24 hours a day here in Boston to go bowling, luckily at the Boston Bowl, but I mean, my fitting isn't even that early. It's in the afternoon, but I gotta do it, and I want to upload this. But can you hear it in my voice right now? Can you hear how much this guy loves bowling and is on the fence? But you know what? I'm gonna give myself one more day. I'm also a little bit. I ran a 10K yesterday because I still run, motherfuckers. I'm not like, I don't give up my old hobbies when I bring in new hobbies. Okay. Maybe when I eventually have a wife and kid, I'll have to drop some of these. But right now, I can do whatever the fuck I want most of the time. Or a lot of the time. So I'm still running. I ran 6 miles yesterday. And I'm still a little bit sore in my arms and chest, actually, from running. That's always been, like, where I lose my strength the fastest. Is in my biceps and in my chest muscles. It's always whenever I have to take a little break from running for either injury or sickness, when I come back, those are always the things that are sore. My, like, right where you'd get, like, the mom tattoo on your arm, like, just from the holding them and putting them back and forth. A lot of people are focused on legs and knee problems and shit with running, but a lot of my problems, arms, shoulder. I think my shoulder, I mean, who cares, whatever. Talking about it, I think my shoulder's more fucked up because of childhood injuries and like repeatedly just fucking up my shoulder over and over and over again. Fucked it up terribly once playing Boston Comedy softball and just like ignored it fully. But yeah, I'm definitely, man, like, what is getting older, you know what I mean? It's an odd thing. Everyone does it. No one escapes it. Everyone deals with it in a different way. But I am starting now to enter a different phase of, like, it's like puberty kind of, but it's not. But it's like changes. Like, it's been a solid, I'd say it's been a solid 15 years, 20 years since I've had any major, like, big body changes. I lost some weight and stuff when I quit drinking, but that was like me doing it. You know what I'm saying? But it's pretty much, when you're a kid, you're like growing a shitload every year. When you're a teenager, you're growing a lot each year. And then in your 20, from like age 24 to like 34, 35, 36, like, as long as you're taking decent care of yourself, there's not a ton of big, at least for me. I'm sure it changes for everyone. A lot of people lose their hair at different times and all this shit, right? But for me, I'm starting to feel the old age. I'm starting to age, like, and feel it now, you know? Like, I'm noticing wrinkles, noticing, like, when I pull a muscle or something, it takes just a little bit longer to feel better. I'm getting a little bit more tired, a little bit earlier. I enjoy, like, really mundane things a lot more than I ever did in my life. That's the thing that really makes me feel old, is that, like, I'm starting to understand, like, I mean, I was never a fan of, like, really small really loud kind of places. But now I'm like, I couldn't be less. I like just fucking hate it. So I don't know. In what ways am I getting older? I always wonder about that. I think people and people who know you in your life or through your art form and this, like, I think people who know me see it more and have probably noticed it more throughout the years. But like for an example, like I was talking to Paul and Pat the other day, and I kind of squinted my eyes a little bit, and then I felt this. I was like rubbing the side of my temple of my skull when I was squinting my eyes, and I was like, oh, I can feel something I've never felt before. It's just a new little piece of loose skin now next to my eye that I never knew was there, because it never was there, and now it is. Changes are happening. I'm going through changes, but I'm actually, I'm gonna have a moment, obviously here and there, where I'm sort of hating getting older and hating aging, but for the most part, I think I'm into it, man. I think I dig this whole getting older thing. Especially in my business, stand-up comedy. It's kind of like there's some benefits to not being looking like a kid and sounding like a kid and all that shit. So I think it's modern, very modern, to just resist getting older and to hate it and to want it to not happen and to try and stall it at every turn. And that's sort of always probably been a thing, but with the growth of mass media and all that stuff and Instagram, it's even more so a thing now, right? But I think I might go the other way. I think I might be one of those dudes who just ages gracefully. I want to age like Ed Harris, I'd like to look 40 for like 30 years. That might be the next step. I don't fucking know, but I think about it. Wow. Good thing I am not a drunk and I pay attention, because there's just two people dressed all in black walking down the street that I was turning on to, and if I was like looking at the radio, I would have ran them right over, but I didn't. Alright, so I'm pulling in, parking. It's the end of my night. I'm gonna go home. I was gonna go bowling. I was really close, but I'm gonna go tomorrow after the fitting. Give me something to look forward to. I really appreciate you guys sticking with the show. We're getting a lot of ratings, even though I haven't been putting out a ton of episodes. Check out the new show, The Noon Show. You really want to do me a solid? Write a comment or like it, subscribe on Twitter, all that stuff on YouTube and iTunes. Those algorithms are everything, So, I mean, you might even think, hey, Will, I subscribe. Thank you. Give us 5 stars, leave a comment. All that shit really matters. Tell your friends. That's the most important thing. We're new. It's an important time for a podcast, but we're having a lot of fun doing it. We're going to start having guests Skyping in soon. It's a fun fucking time. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. If no one told you they love you today, I do. Peace out. Testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1 and 2. What the fuck? Test. Can I see? Can I see you? Test. Pretty good. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Contact. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Good morning. Some fucking heat before I go. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. Suck my dick. Test and lick that butt. Test. Bust that nut. Testy Tuesdays. Testy Tuesdays is the bell's night. Alright. 3. Get it out. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time it is. Good morning. 1, 3, 2, 1. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time it is where you are. Turn the heat down, turn the heat down. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom, boom. Good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time it is where you are. Fuck. 1, 2, 3. This is it. Last time. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm a fucking radio DJ. Wow, having a hard time with it this week. It's because I'm driving out of my fucking neighborhood onto the highway. I'm like really not paying attention. I should just wait, but I can't wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 6. No, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.